Hello YouTube, coming at you guys with a quick video today about the theme of regret. A lot of people use regret as a means to not get to where they want to go in their lives. Because they're so focused on the past and the mistakes that they've made and the opportunities that they've missed out on, they can't see the forest for the trees. And that's that the past is the past and that's not changing. This is the opportunity for you to change your life and look towards the future for all the possibilities of what you could become. And the thing about regret is, it's not all negative. A lot of people see regret through a negative light, when in reality, it is what you make it. Because missed opportunities can often lead to a new doorway that could open up new realms of opportunities. And perhaps you weren't even meant to go down those lines. And there's another factor in regret too that a lot of people don't typically think of, and that there is something called sacred regret. And sacred regret is actually having lived out a certain experience and then felt a certain type of remorse because it can no longer be lived out, right? So imagine an NBA basketball player, they live out their youth, making these millions of dollars, playing the sport of their dreams, maybe making a game-winning shot, and then they turn 40 and they retire. There is a sense of regret there, because that can never be relived. And a lot of these athletes, the majority of athletes actually feel immense forms of regret throughout their retirement at a very early age, because their identity is no longer encapsulated by something like the sports team or something that they can really frame their lives in. So they're left in shambles. But what is often missed out in this sort of circumstance is that the regret is really sacred, because it's about a lived experience that can no longer be relived. In a similar vein, families that have children, once the children move out, the parents are left with this sort of void because they saw their loved ones grow up, leave, that sort of childlike innocence is gone, and so there's that vacuum and that void, and what fills that void? And that is another form of sacred regret. In our lives, people are always coming and going, right? Nobody is here to stay. It's really, the world is a transition phase for all souls. And what you do with that regret, whether you see it in a negative or a positive light, is exactly what is going to allow you to move forward in life and look at all the opportunities that you have to create for yourself new experiences, new memories, new outcomes for your desires, or to be riddled in complexes of the past and forms of grief. I'm reminded often about a therapist that was once on a TV show, and what essentially happened was there was a mom who was suffering from grief, deep grief, and she had lost her child in some sort of accident, and everybody tried to cure her, but nobody could really cure her. And so the therapist took her around for a week on this sort of reality TV show, and he showed her pictures of her daughter, and would talk about her daughter and be like, "Do you miss her? How did that make you feel?" Yada yada. And then he just, in the last episode, he just showed her an episode of the daughter, and he's like, "Do you miss her?" She was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What do you miss about her?" She was like, the small things, right? Like a laugh here, the way she opened something here, the way that she walked to school there, like these really small details. And the therapist was like, "That's nice. I want you to know your daughter's dead and she's never coming back." And it just hit the woman. It just hit her. And it hit her in some place that consciously she couldn't fathom. And that's why she was holding on all those years to the image of her daughter. And once she actually allowed space for that on a very deep level of understanding, it clicked in her mind. And that, from then on, she never held on to that grief. She never held on to that. Of course, her daughter was still a memory, but it didn't have the emotionally controlling and manipulating variable that it had before in her life. And that is really what I'm trying to get at here with the theme of regret. Don't let past experiences, missed opportunities, failings, remorse, all these negative influences that can affect your emotional state, don't allow them from stopping you to become all that you can possibly become. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you whether or not you choose to interpret those circumstances in a negative or a positive and sacred light. Don't forget to hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get up to 100 subscribers by the end of the month. I hope you can help me out in that journey, and I'll talk to you guys next time.